I purchased 190 silver dollar coins, and I'm hoping to find some rare ones. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure, and welcome back to the channel. Holy cow, we've got 190 silver dollars to look through today. My silver dealer called me up and said, Rob, I'm overstocked on dollar coins. If you want to buy them all, I'll give you a great deal. Otherwise, there'll be a separate deal if you want to go ahead and pick out the ones you want. So I said, what's the great deal? He said, if you buy all 190 of them, only $30.75 a piece. Are you kidding me? Now, for those wondering, that comes out to almost $5,850 for the whole bag, which is a lot. It is a lot. But at $30.75 a piece, I looked up the melt value of silver dollars, and they're at $29.41 each as of right now. So I only paid a buck, what is that, $1.34 per coin over their silver melt value. So if we get anything nice, which I can already see a nicer piece dollar right there, and we get anything that's a better date in decent condition, we're going to score big time. Matter of fact, we're probably going to score big time on this bag because typically Morgans don't sell for less than $35, even in rough condition. And I do expect some rough ones in here, but I see some decent looking detailed coins. So definitely could be a good bag here. The plan is to dump it out. Then I'm just going to start laying it out by year and mint. And if I run across anything that's a better date or in great condition, I'll bring you guys back in. Otherwise, I'll just bring you back after the sort and share the finds. Let me do this. Let me open up this bag, get it ready, and we'll do the dump out of all these silver dollars. All right, here we go. Man, look at this humongous stack of silver dollars. They're flying everywhere. They are flying everywhere, but I don't care. I know we're going to have some rough ones, but man, if we've got some nice ones, look at this. I know it's a common date, 1922 Philly, but that is a nice coin. So we definitely have some nicer piece dollars in here for sure, which I will take. Now, I'm not going to be using gloves on these. They've already been bounced around in the bag, but definitely am excited to go through it. I think what I'll do first, I know I've already kind of laid out the game plan, but I think what I'll do first is get all the piece dollars done and just pull them out of here, stack them in year and mint order. And if we get any super fancy ones as far as year and mint, like a 28p or some of the 27s or 34s and 35s, I'll bring you guys back in. Let me begin the sort. This is going to be exciting. Can't wait to get started. So let's get started. All right, we've got the piece dollars done. A total of 107 piece dollars, which means there should be 83 Morgan dollars. And all I did was just pull them out. I haven't looked at any dates yet. But that being said, we did go ahead and sort the piece dollars. Did get a few better dates. Not in the best condition. We'll cover them here in a second. A ton of nice BU 1922 piece. Common date, but man, for less than $31, can't get mad at that. And there are some that are not as nice in there as well. I'll have to pull out all the BU ones and make rolls of them. Those are the 22 Denvers and the 22 San Franciscos. The best ones are not on top. All I've done is sort them. The 23 Phillies, Denvers, and San Franciscos. All of these are common. None of these fetch anything a lot more than their melt value if they're not in great condition. But again, some of them are. Moving on to the 1924 year, we have the 24p, and of course there was no Denver in 1924, so we have the 24s. We did get one of those. It is a better date, but it's not in the greatest condition. For 1925, no Denvers as well. They didn't mint any. We did get the 25ps and a slightly better date, 1925s as well. A little bit lower mintage. Looks like it's been cleaned, unfortunately. For 1926, no Phillies. That's the common one. We did get a Denver and a handful of rough condition, clean 26S's, but I'll definitely take them. 26S is a slightly better date as well. Nothing from 27, nothing from 28, nothing from 34. And then in 1935, they only minted two different mints, the 1935 Philly as well as a 1935 San Francisco. And the 1935 year is also a slightly better year, but we'll have to see if there's any VAMs or any varieties on any of these. Now, VAMs and varieties do add value to a silver dollar if it is in gradable condition. Most of these, or a lot of these, are not in the subsequent years from 1923 on, but we'll be looking for VAMs, and if I find any, I'll bring you guys back and show them to you and educate with you on the screen what I found. Not expecting to find any top 100 VAMs or any hot 50 VAMs, but if we do, that'd be a bonus. Let me check them now, and I'll bring you back if I have a finding as I find it, or just a recap of the peace dollars. An eternity later. Well, I am done. We have done it for the peace dollars. The ones that you see down here are BU. We'll get to them. I couldn't find any VAMs on the ones I checked. I only looked for the top 50 or the hot 50 VAMs for peace dollars. And if you're wondering where that is, it's on PCGS, top 50 peace dollar VAMs. It gives the listing and the year and the mint. But I have most of these memorized of what to look for by just reading the name because I've looked for them for so many years. So thankfully, I don't have to look each of them up. However, once in a while, I will click on one just to make sure that I remember what to look for. That being said, we didn't find any. I didn't find any VAMs in all these peace dollars, and that's not normal for me. But again, I didn't look for the lesser peace dollar VAMs. I only looked for the top 50, and they're top 50 for a reason. Like I said, on the mat is all of the BU ones, and I'm going to show them off. These are the ones I made the best case for because they either weren't cleaned or didn't have excess damage or wear. We have 20 definite BU peace dollars right there. They are fantastic looking. They have some of the bag marks that you would get from the minting process, but definitely MS63 or better on these 20. Couple of nice ones down here. Not as nice as the ones up top, but definitely nice in their own right. They either have some spots or some unsightly toning or things like that. Still BU for sure. Then we have 8 honorable mentions right here, all 1922p, and there is a couple of them in here that I could probably make a case for BU on, but they either have excess damage, like right at the date on this one, just a little bit more unsightly. And so most of these are probably in that MS62 range. Yeah, this one has some sticker or residue on the back. So I put these at probably MS62. There might be a 63 or 64 in there, but not as nice as those. So that's all the 22 Ps, no Ds or S's that were BU at all. Moving on to the 1923 Phillies. That's the best 5. And you know, this one does have a few extra bag marks. That probably can go back. It's a beautiful coin. I'll just call it scratched. But it's so nice, I figured I'd hold it up here since we only had 5 of those. And then only one 1925 that I would consider BU right there. So no 24s, nothing above 25. But man, at less than $31 a coin, these right here, what is that? 22, 30, 36. And I take away that one, 35 BU looking coins out of the peace dollars, plus all that in inventory. Can't get mad at that. Now that I finished the peace dollars, I'm super excited to see if we have any better dates in the Morgans. Let me do this. Let me go ahead and roll these up, move on to the Morgans. I'll be sorting them by year and mint again. If I come across a better date, I'll bring you back in before the end of the sort. Otherwise, I'll just be back at the end of the sort. Well, I'm bringing you back because I'm doing the sort of the Morgan dollars. Quite a few 1921 PDNSs, unfortunately. But fortunately, we have our first better date. It is cleaned and polished, but take a look at this. 1889, San Francisco. If I recall, there's less than like 750,000 of these minted. And even though it's polished, it's got AU details. So I will take that. I will take that all day. I wish it wasn't polished, but that's a nice looking coin. 1889S. We'll add that to the board and get back to the sort. Getting near the end of the sort, I figured I would bring in for both. I was going to bring in for the first one that I found. It's a better date, 1898S, but it's in pretty rough shape. Either way, it's still an S minute 1898. Went ahead and checked the 1899 right after it. flipped it around and take a look at that. San Francisco as well. So back-to-back better dates right here, 98 and 99S. We'll cover them in the wrap-up. Still going through the sort, finding some better-looking coins. Some better-looking coins in here. They're common, but they're better-looking, and the 21s are stacking up. Back with another better date, but not in better condition. 1896, New Orleans. We'll take that. Based on what I see here, it's probably in a low VF, like a VF20. And yeah, better date. Nonetheless, we'll put it up there. Hopefully I find another one, but if not, I'll finish up the sort and bring you guys back in. Saved them for the end. 3 more better dates. Well, 2 better dates, but 2 of the same coin. An 1886-0. Can't get mad at that. And then 2 1897s, also from New Orleans. Not in the best shape, but then again, not in bad shape either. Definitely in that high VF condition for that one. And probably low VF, mid VF on that one. Of course, they could be cleaned. Put these on the board, and yeah, let me go ahead and get my bearings, double check them really quick. I'll bring you back with what we found in the Morgan silver dollars. All right, I've double checked all the coins. They are in the correct placement. I believe we have 7 better dates and some nicer coins. I'm not going to go through them all right now as far as their condition because I still have to check for VAMs on many of the nicer ones, but let me cover them really quick. 2 1878 Phillies. Both are the 7 tail feathers, not the 8 tail feathers, which is worth more. Bunch of 1880 O's, as well as an 1880S. Bunch of 81 O's and an 81S. We have an 82 O in decent shape. We have 83P, 84P, a polished 85P, a better date 86 O, 2 88 O's, a bunch of 89 O's and P's, including that 89S better date. So that makes 2 better dates. We'll pull the better dates down. 1890 O's, 1890P in pretty nice shape. 1891P, 1896 O better date. 1896 Philly, 2 1897 O better dates. 1897 Philly, a better date 1898S, a better date 1899S. We also had the 1899 O, 1900 O's, 1900 P's, 1901 O's, and then a grip of 1921 Phillies, Denvers, and San Francisco's. None of these looked that great, but that being said, I believe there was 27 of the coins were 1921s. So 107 plus 27 is 134. And then I already double checked. The remaining, 56 coins are not 1921. So we'll take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 better dates in the lot. These should definitely fetch a lot more than 30 to 35 bucks. And the rest of these, again, there are some nicer coins in here. A lot of these are much nicer, or several of them are much nicer than $30 coins. Of course, there are some rough ones in here, like that one right there. Common date and beat up. That'll just go in the mystery packs or something, or giveaways. So definitely did well on the Morgans. Now I have to go through them again and double check for any of the top 100 Morgan VAMs. I'll be pulling that up on the PCGS website just to remind myself. And if the coin's in rough shape, I'll probably skip over it. But if it's in decent shape, like high VF or better, I'll definitely check it for VAMs. Let me do that. If I come across a VAM while I'm checking, I'll bring you back. If I don't, I'll see you at the wrap-up. Well, I'm bringing you back because I believe I have a top 100 VAM. I've gone through all the Morgan dollars except for the 21s, already put them in their respective sleeves based on condition, and I grabbed all the 1921 Ps, and the first thing I do is I hold them up and I look at the reading. And hopefully you guys can see this. Let me get this a little bit better in my hand. If you take a look at all the reading, you should see one that looks different. Can you guess which one it is, starting from left to right? You will see that number 5, the number 5 Morgan has the wide reads compared to the other ones. I'm going to bring up them a little bit closer and show you what it looks like up close. The one on the left has the wide reads. The other 2 are the normal reads. You can clearly see that there's a bigger space between the reeds, and that's what's known as a wide-reeded Morgan silver dollar. It is a top 100 VAM, and I have found one and graded it before, and I'll go ahead and bring up a picture right here. You can see it right here as well. That's a good picture. That's why I'm going to go ahead and show it. But bottom line is, it is a top 100 VAM. In the mid-state conditions, it does add about $50 to the coin. So for example, a mid-state 63 sold for $168 bucks in 2024. So about $150, $140 coin, whereas a normal MS63 is probably under $100 bucks. So judging by this one being in pretty good condition as well, this is probably a low mid-state. I would say it's probably MS62 with wide reeds, which puts it just north of $100 bucks. A recent sale was $105. So yeah, about a $100 coin. I will be putting this in a flip, probably not getting it graded because I have an MS63 one already, and I don't think it'll beat it. And it's also not worth me grading it, because at the end of the day, if I spend another $50 to get it graded, now I'm into it for already $81. So probably won't get it graded, but definitely a top 100 VAM. And it's good to see that we finally got one after checking them all right there. A few more things to check. Let me finish it up, and I'll bring you guys back with some final thoughts on this silver dollar purchase. All right, we have finished this dollar search, and I'll tell you right now, and I'm sure you're already thinking it, for less than $31 a coin, we did fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of tougher coins in some of these rolls, but the BU coins on the piece dollars, well worth it automatically right there. We got a top 100 Morgan VAM. We got some better date Morgans right here. These are the Morgans that I thought out of the bunch were worth a little bit more than, lower grade and lower value. And then a lot of Morgans obviously were not that nice for the mystery packs as well as the piece dollars. But this is what I kind of expected out of the bunch. Was not expecting this, was not expecting that, and was not expecting some better condition coins as well, and the top 100 VAM. So, in my thoughts, we scored big time. I'm glad I bought them all and got a better deal by buying them all. You guys can let me know in the chat down below how you think the hunt went. Would have been nicer to score some extra VAMs. Would have been nicer to get a top 100 or a hot 50 in great shape, but we didn't get that this time. But what we did get, we did well with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this silver dollar search. If you did, I certainly would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching. Oh, you're still here? Well, I appreciate you watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, I decided to pick out a few more that I think you might enjoy, like that one right there or this one down here. Anyways, thanks for watching, happy hunting, and we'll see you in the next video.